Pemirsa, MVB Indonesia 2016 adalah merupakan bagian dari MVB International. Pada kesempatan kali ini, CEO MVB International Eamon Sadler juga telah hadir di tengah-tengah kita. Kita akan tanyakan pendapat yang mengenai penyelenggaraan MVB Indonesia 2016. Hello, Mr. Eamon. How do you do?
Well, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Okay, straight to the point as we talk for this topic. Why is MVB an important concept for Asian companies?
Well, actually, it's an important concept for all companies, but for Asian in particular, because there is a perception outside of Asia and outside of Indonesia that countries in this region are a little bit more, shall we say, irresponsible than companies in the West. It's not necessarily true, but unfortunately that's the perception. So it's very important for us to help countries like Indonesia and other Asian countries, other developing countries, to dispel that myth and show that they are among the leaders in many cases of the companies that are trying to do the right thing around the world.
Okay, why Indonesia then? It's because there's so many companies or there's so many products to join to MVB?
Well, there are as many companies in Indonesia as there are in everywhere else, but we found that Indonesia is a challenge because of some of the news that's been going out there recently about the haze and these sorts of things that made the international and global news. So we wanted to try and help correct that perception, and we knew if we could make this concept effective and successful in Indonesia, that it would be a good demonstration to other countries in Asia that this can be done anywhere.
Okay, so effective enough in Indonesia's company or so far to join the MVB?
Yes, we've been very surprised and pleased with the response we received from major companies in Indonesia. It's when a new concept comes along like this, you try to do something new. It's very difficult for people to believe in you from nothing. So we found that even though MVB may be a new name, the concept is something, the sustainability is something that's very much in the forefront of people's thoughts and desires at the moment. And really, when we brought this to the table, people sort of said, oh, thank goodness for that. This is something we need to do. We are doing these things. We need someone to help us to spread the word that we're doing these things. So, and on the other side of the coin, of course, there's consumers who are more and more concerned about companies doing the right thing. So Indonesian consumers have been very supportive to us, and the companies as well, which is fantastic for us.
Okay, where's the MVB spreading to the next? We know there's a long-term, of course, for MVB.
Yeah, I just came back from Thailand, where we've put on a new operator for us in Thailand, Myanmar, Laos and Cambodia. So we'll be starting operations there soon with a company called Metrics, and they'll be helping us out. The idea is, of course, to spread the word around Asia and then focus on Singapore and Hong Kong in the medium term, and then, of course, Europe and the Americas and Australia in the long term.
Okay, you said that many Asian countries. So what the difference to make MVB program realized in Indonesia than another country in Asia?
Yeah, of course each country has its own foibles and its own ways of doing things, its own culture that has to be allowed for. But we don't try to do it ourselves. We do take on partners in local countries because it's important that the local sensibilities and the local ways of doing business and the local ways of approaching things are taken into account when we do our business. We can't just go storming into a new country and do things the way we do them in England or the way we do them in America. We need to be sensitive to the way things are done.
And they have many characters in their country.
Many different ways of doing things. It's easier to say some things in some places than it is to say other things. So you need to be careful about the way you approach these subjects, especially when you're talking about transparency, ethical business practices, and anti-corruption and things like that. You need to be a little bit careful about how you approach that. So we need people to understand that.
Not every country will open about their country.
That's right.
And then where's the head office and what does it do for MVB?
MVB is based in Singapore. And the reason for that is it's a country with a good rule of law that people appreciate internationally and globally. So we want them to know that we're a reputable and well-established company. But also the role of the company in Singapore is to support the operations in different countries around the world. So while it's called Most Valued Business, actually the full title is the world's most valued business. So what head office will do in Singapore is support the local operations by blanket marketing, blanket communications, blanket PR for the whole organization around the world. So it'll be one homogeneous effort from Singapore to support all the offices in the world.
Okay, is there any difference why you built the head office in Singapore? Because it's nearby from Indonesia or in Asian.
Well, actually, it's nearby from everywhere in Asia. The thing is, it's a hub in Asia. If you're in Singapore, you can reach any country in Asia pretty easily.
Yeah.
So it's a very simple way for us to reach out from there to the rest of Asia.
And the Singapore is the question about of all. And the Singapore is the choice, the best choice to make the head office.
Yeah, Hong Kong's a little bit far out. You can reach a lot of countries very easily and very quickly from Singapore, so that's why we chose there.
Okay then. What makes MVB different to other award programs? We know there's in Indonesia actually there's maybe there's an award about the products or for companies, but what is the difference with MVB?
Well, those programs are very important, and those are things that companies need to do, because those are the programs that show people, consumers, that people are producing products that are meeting their needs and the customer service is good, and those things need to carry on. But what MVB is doing is saying to consumers that behind the scenes, behind the brand, behind the product, is a company that actually cares about you as a person rather than just as a consumer. And also that they care about the planet as a whole, about the environment. It's more than just producing products or providing services. It's about how do you do that. All the awards you see now are about how well they produce what they produce, how well they provide the services they provide their services, and who's the best at doing that. What we're doing is we're saying we don't actually care who's the best at providing a service if they're not providing them in an ethical and responsible way.
Then that's really related with sustainability, how sustained the companies are.
That's right. It's about sustainability. It's about the way they treat their employees. It's about safety and security. It's no good a company being sustainable and looking after the planet if they're putting their employees in danger in a factory that's about to fall down, for example, or there's no fire safety. So MVB looks at the whole package. It looks at ethical practices. It looks at responsibility. It looks at sustainability, environmental friendliness, but also looks at safety and security and ethical employment and these sorts of things. People who care about people and care about the planet and treat everyone properly, making sure that everybody is safe and secure and everybody gets a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. That's what we're interested in.
Yeah, like MVB, doing good is good for your business, so there's so many indicators on it.
So many ways that it's good for business. I mean, if you do good, then you attract good people into your company, so you get better employees. And if you do good, they feel proud to work for you, so they don't want to leave and go to another company. Consumers appreciate you more. They'll use your product even if it costs slightly more. If you do good by reducing energy consumption, it reduces your energy bills. If you use less water, you're helping to save the planet. Whichever way you look at it, a company that operates ethically and responsibly will benefit by more business and less overhead. There's no doubt about that. It's been proved time and time again. Some huge companies have done studies. Unilever has saved billions of dollars by doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing.
There is no doubt that it does.
Okay, so you have to doing good for your business. And then I understand you lock in CSR and sustainability program into your membership. How does it work?
Well, we have two programs. One is OBI, which is Outward Bound Indonesia. And what we do with that, we take disabled people, they might be blind or deaf or whatever they might be, and that's very hard in a country like Indonesia for people like that to find a way into the workforce, because there's not a lot of facilities for people who are affected like that. So what we tried to do is, using Outward Bound, in partnership with Outward Bound, we put them through programs which empower them and give them confidence. And we've already had some success with that. We've had some graduates of our course with OBI. Hopefully they will be employed by some of the companies within MVB. So we're trying to take people who otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity in this country and giving them the chance to get into the workforce and provide for their families and make something of their lives.
All right. Besides the CSR project, you have just launched an MVB hotel partnership. What does it do?
Well, the thing about hotels is they're in touch with the community very closely. People have very close relationships. Consumers have very close relationships with hotels, and corporations have very close relationships with hotels. So we see them as a bridge, a way to bring together what MVB is trying to do and what they want to do. So hotels have got corporate lists of clients, for example. They've got lists of consumers, individuals, clients who use their hotel. So we're asking the hotels to, first of all, prove to us that they are sustainable, ethical, and environmentally friendly. And then we ask them to ask their databases, tell them that they've achieved MVB status, if they do, and then ask their database to vote for them online so that we can see which hotels have the greatest support from corporations and from consumers. So it's one thing to think you're doing things properly, but how do your customers and how do consumers perceive what you're doing? It's very important that they understand exactly what you're doing in the right way. So once we built that bridge, that allows MVB to communicate with corporations and consumers via the hotels while giving benefit to the hotels.
Okay, so there's many things to do if the companies join with MVB programs, of course, to doing good for their business. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Eamon, for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dan pemirsa, sampai di sini perjumpaan kita dalam MVB Indonesia Doing Good is Good for Business. Saksikan episode selanjutnya dengan para narasumber dari perusahaan anggota MVB Indonesia 2016 lainnya. Saya Chakry mewakili kerabat kerja yang bertugas undur diri. Sampai jumpa.